Morning, ladies and gentlemen of the media. Thank you once again for accepting our invitation and coming to the headquarters of police headquarters to be a part of our daily press briefing. I am Sharon Lee Asang, the Director of Public Affairs for the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Captain Alexander is on an operation and will not be joining us today. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, along with the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force and the other arms of the protective services involved in the fight against crime, continue to work assiduously well together, ensuring the safety and security of the national community. To date, we have taken 132 firearms off the streets and recovered 12,510 assorted ammunitions and 31 magazines. I'll give you an outline of what has transpired over the last 24 hours in the TTPS. An exercise duty conducted in the Penal District between 1:55 p.m. on Sunday and 6:35 p.m. on Monday by CID officers of Southwestern Division and the Stolen Vehicle Squad have recovered from Beckles Avenue in Penal, quality car care in Penal. A series of vehicles were seized, and I'm going to call out the license number. PCM 2461, PCC 8085, PCF 5253, PCS 683, PCS 6099, and TAT 6051. 5 persons from the Penal area were detained for questioning with regards to the recovery of these vehicles. An acting Corporal Primdas of the Stolen Vehicle Squad is continuing inquiries. In the Northeastern Division, around 10:10 p.m. on Tuesday, October 18th, a couple was watching television at their home at Saddle Road, Santa Cruz, when 2 men entered the premises. One of them was armed with a firearm. The female, 32 years old, was taken to a room where she was sexually assaulted. The men then proceeded to rob the couple of a quantity of items. The value of these items is yet to be ascertained. I'm now going to open the floor for any questions that you all may have.
What time did the incident occur?
Which one?
Saddle Road.
10:10 p.m.
Can you tell us, you told us that the woman is 32,
2.
and can you tell us how old the man is?
No, I don't have that information.
And it was 2 men that entered the house. Can you give us physical descriptions of the suspects?
No, I don't have that information. But we will speak to the investigators. Hopefully, they've been able to get some additional information from the victims, and we should be able to at least put some information out there.
You said they were robbed of what?
Items at home, a quantity of items.
Okay, the vehicles you're talking about in Penal, you want the victims to come and identify the vehicles to come and recover? What is it?
Well, we just put in for persons who may have had their vehicles stolen, and they can come and see if those are the vehicles. You know, there are times when the license plates are changed and put on another vehicle. So it's a work in progress. Investigations are still continuing.
I was not going to ask that because you told us the registration numbers of the vehicles, but what types of vehicles? Because the plates may have been changed.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Because of the fact that inquiries are still ongoing, we still want to alert the public that these are the number plates that we have recovered, vehicles with these number plates. We're not certain, of course, if those are the number plates for those particular vehicles, but we just want the public to know.
So you can't tell if they're Almeras or other like the brand,
No.
All right. With regards to the serious crimes that continue to happen during the non-curfew period, can you tell us if any special measures have been put in place? Because we are seeing an increase now. I mean, this incident took place last night at 10:10 p.m., which is just a few minutes short of the curfew going into effect. And again, we're seeing where other crimes are taking place, the shooting of the businessman on the weekend. Other issues are popping up, ma'am. Can you tell us? And especially, we're seeing a lot of break-ins and robberies now occurring again. Any special measures being put in place to deal with that?
Well, because crimes happen all the time, and we are looking at the number of incidences that are taking place in the specific areas to increase the number of patrols that we have in those areas. I mean, we have to go by reports that come in. And in addition to that, we have regular patrols. But if there is an increase that is taking place in specific areas, we will, of course, increase our patrols in those areas.
Do you really believe that there has been an increase since the state of emergency was implemented?
Well, I didn't say that I've seen a state of I have not said that there's been an increase. I said how if there are instances where there is a state of increase in the number of incidences, we will, of course, ensure there's sufficient patrols are allocated to those areas.
Mr. Sang, just updates on 3 different situations. The second prisoner who remains missing, any update on him? And secondly, also, I know that the Sturgeon investigation has now started, but can you tell us anything further as to whether any headway has been made in that investigation?
All right. With respect to the prisoner, we continue to search for him. As Mr. Fredericks, who is the ACP in charge of the South Central Division, he said that how an arrest is imminent. So we continue and are certain that that is going to happen. Regards to Sturgeon, that inquiry is still going on. Those investigations are going on.
And with regards to the investigation into Jack Warner, I know last week you had spoken about it, where you said that when the police would be the ones to indicate to you when and if Mr. Warner would be questioned. Can you tell us whether or not anything has happened since then?
Well, up to now, up to this morning, they have not indicated to me when and where when and where and how Mr. Warner is going to be questioned.
The body of the missing fireman was found in a Lazare River. I believe it was yesterday, right? What conclusions did the officers come to? Did they conclude that it was a homicide? The forensic, an autopsy was done at forensics this morning. What did the autopsy reveal? Do you have any results on that?
I don't have the results of the autopsy in front of me, but as soon as it comes to light, we will send out a press release and let the media know.
Piggybacking on my colleague's question, the Prime Minister sent some information to ACIB, I believe it was, concerning Mr. Warner. Any updates into that specific matter? As in who's investigating, how far have they reached, what are they doing?
Well, at this point in time, I say, which is nearly a little after 11, I can't say where the investigation has reached. I know that it is ongoing, but in terms of who is the investigator, I can't say that. All right? But we have received the file. I can tell you absolutely the file is with the TTPS, and we are looking at the file. Yes.
And I forward 2 questions to you this morning. One was concerning the bandit who shot himself in the groin area. Has he been found? Was he still out there?
He's still out there. We did send out an alert to all the medical institutions and the doctors' offices asking that if anybody comes in seeking medical attention for an injury in that part of their body, that they have to give us a call immediately. We have not gotten any call back from any medical institutions as yet.
One final question from me. I asked a couple of times, and I'm asking again, how many gangs were identified by the police prior to the state of emergency?
And a couple of times I've told you there have been a number of reports about the number of gangs that have been identified in Trinidad and Tobago, and I have not seen all of those reports, and nor can I tell you on the number of gangs that have been identified.
You said you would check and you'll get let me know. Twice you told me that, and I'm still waiting.
I know you're still waiting, and I continue to check.
With regards to incidents that took place, we've been told that there was an incident last night somewhere in the Kelly Village area where a father and his 2 children were tied up and the family were robbed. I know you didn't give anything about it here, so I'm not sure if you would have been brought to your attention, but we would also like, that is another serious crime that's happening. And again, we're seeing it happening now in the non-curfew period, which again speaks to the question of what is being done. I mean, yes, in terms of increasing patrols, yes, but what else can you all tell people to do? What precautions can you advise persons to take? Because you're seeing a couple watching television and their home may have been locked up, and then they were robbed. Now you're seeing a father with his 2 children, same scenario.
Well, we have a number of literature that we put out, or we distribute to the members of the public through the police stations, on how to not allow yourself to become a victim, women, how to be safe, how to secure your homes. We also, in the Central District, we have community councils that is made up of representatives of the various communities, police officers, community policing officers, and also members of the business community. And what they do is that they go into the communities and do a lot of community meetings to really to educate the public and help them to understand how they can protect themselves, protect their families, and protect their homes. But in addition to that, we also, as I said, increase the number of patrols in the area. At the end of the day, we have to ask the public to provide us with any information that or any notice that they may see of strange persons in their area, strange vehicles passing around, so that to help us to help them and to help the national community to stay safe. Because at the end of the day, we all live here, and we need to work together in a concerted effort to protect our home, our families, and our loved ones.
Would you say that home invasions now are on the rise, or you wouldn't say that?
Well, in order to make that conclusion, we would need to look at the statistics over a period of time and then do some type of comparison to be able to make that generalization. I haven't done that.
But at this point, you would not say that without comparing the
Not at all.
statistics.
With regards to the gangs, from the investigation so far into the gangs, how large scale or efficient, for lack of a better word, are the operations of these gangs? Because we know, like in the States, we have like the Crips and the Bloods and whatnot, and the public is fully aware of these gangs, whereas in Trinidad, we don't really hear anything about names of gangs or persons really openly saying that they are with gangs. But how large scale are the operations of these gangs?
The police continue to conduct surveillance on persons who have been identified or associated with certain organizations. In terms of the complexity of those organizations, I can't say, but I would imagine most organizations have a structure. They would have a business, I want to say a business department, but they would have businesses that they are involved in. And of course, as law enforcement, we would be required to monitor those activities and to ensure that we build a database so that we'll be able to, when matters do come to court, we're able to provide the necessary evidence in order to ensure a conviction.
And we are aware that the former Prime Minister had like meetings with gang members. Has that in any way assisted investigations now, as far as information from then trickling and being a major role in the investigations into gangs now?
I'm not too certain about the results of the meetings and those discussions that the former Prime Minister would have had with persons in that area, so I really can't comment on that.
You made mention that the gangs are involved in some businesses. Could you give us an idea of what these businesses may be? And I'm assuming it's legitimate businesses you're referring to.
What I said is, generally speaking, gangs around the world are involved in businesses. That's what they consider that they do. They use particular words to describe what they do. They have a particular structure in which they adhere to, I would suppose. And based on what information that you have on the way that the certain gangs operate in the U.S. and around the world, we are able to build a sort of generalization. So therefore, that generalization I have come up to, I wouldn't necessarily apply to what the context in Trinidad and Tobago.
Still, can you give us some idea as to what these lingo may be? So in the event that we were to come across some people involved in this dialect, may be able to assist the police in their job.
Well, what we ask the public to do is that anytime if you feel that a neighbor of yours or a cousin, or you may have an inclination that somebody that you know may be involved in some sort of business, you may think it's illegal, it may not be illegal, we don't know. We always invite you to call us and provide us with the information, so that would initiate some investigation.
Give us an idea of something that they would say, something that they would do that would...
Well, I myself have not happened to be privy to the information or know anybody that may be associated, so therefore I can't provide you with a name that may have resonated in my mind.
But with regards to names of the gangs, because remember when Mr. Burke was held, they were saying that he was of the Sealots gang or something like that. Do we have official names for these gangs?
Well, I know what I've been told is that in Trinidad, sometimes there could be people who congregate at a particular side of a street or a particular road and a particular corner, and they would be associated with a particular name. So therefore, one street may have 3 different groups of people who congregate in a particular area. That's what I'm saying. So I myself cannot provide that information, but there is a lot of intelligence that circulates on that.
With regards to the incident on Saddle Road, can you tell us if the victim was raped by both suspects or?
Well, according to our information, it was by one. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring us to the close of our press briefing for today. I thank you once again for taking time out to come and be a part of the discussion. And I want to close by saying, on behalf of the Commissioner of Police and the other protective services, we extend a heartfelt thank you to members of the public for their continued support and assistance in bringing the perpetrators of crime and criminal elements to justice. We want the public to know without their assistance, without their help, our job would become even more difficult. We assure you that all arms of the protective services are working extremely well together, utilizing a collaborative approach to bring law back to Trinidad and Tobago. I also have to give you all the statistics for today. Remind the law-abiding citizens that they need not fear, that the activities of the police and the other arms of the protective services are aimed at those persons intent on breaking the law. We urge the members of the national community to continue to partner with us, sharing information by calling 800-0699, 800-0700, 800-8833, 555, and 800-TIPS. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and enjoy the rest of your day.